screen. And so if anybody wants to join me live, you are welcome to. Hi, I'm Shawn, and this is all about who I am because I've been on YouTube for quite some time and I recently switched content from party games to children's ministry. And I probably need to tell you all more about who I am because we've reached 35,000 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all are awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm going to test and see. Okay, good. We've got audio. That's always a weird thing for me. I haven't been live since 2021 when I used to go live all the time when we were all stuck at home. Oh, this is my Jesus, I Love Jesus and Halloween mug that I designed with help from an AI. And I finally got my mug in. These are for sale this week only. And there's a 15% off coupon. If you use Jesus15, you get 15% off. I've got the mug, the t-shirt, and a sticker. But I'm not here to sell you anything. You don't buy that. Although I do love it. I'm here to tell you who I am. Okay. I've got my notes here. I am your ministry mentor. If you're here, let me know you are here. And I'm going to try and keep up with the comments. That's what I'm hoping to be. I'm hoping to be a ministry mentor, specifically in children's ministry, because that is my area of expertise. That is what my degree, well, my degree is actually in Masters of Divinity. So, but I did not feel called to be a pastor. And now I am online sharing my experience with those of you who will listen. If you've been watching my channel any number of years, you know that I like to have fun. You know that joy is important to me. But you may not know that confidence is important to me. Vulnerability is important to me. And oh, hi. Welcome. Daphne, welcome. Thank you for letting me know you're watching. It's been a long time since I did a live. So yeah, I just want to share more about myself since we have had a lot of subscribers jump on board. And I know a lot of people are still finding me for party games, and party games fit in with children's ministry. That's my first love, is being in ministry. So joy, confidence, vulnerability, and strength. Those are the four things that are important to me in my life. I also, let me see if I can get this story straight. When I was in youth ministry, growing up in Asheville, North Carolina, in a small Southern Baptist church in the suburbs, I had a fantastic youth group. The youth group had been through a little bit of a change where some leaders had left and the son of one of our church members stepped up and took over. He later became principal of a school. And we had tons of youth. And by tons, I probably mean 30. And I was the odd one out. I have always been a little bit nerdy, but I have always loved being at church. And we were always assigned a mentor, a youth group leader who would kind of mentor us and take us under our wing when we first came into youth ministry, which is 6th grade. And bless her heart, I cannot remember her name. She had a British accent and she lived in my neighborhood. And she gave me a keychain, a gold keychain. It had an oval, and I carried that thing all the way through college, and it just got tarnished and ruined. But it had the verse Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans of good and not of evil. And that just has always stuck with me. That God has plans for me, and God has a calling for me, all of us. And those plans, they adapt and they evolve and they change with the seasons of life, is what I have learned. I'm 43 years old. I have 15 years experience in ministry, children, youth. I also briefly interned and became kind of an associate pastor role at a church. I've done everything from funerals to vacation Bible school. I have a lot of experience, and I realized that party games was not bringing me as much joy as it was when when my son in particular was younger. That the whole reason I started party games on here was so that I could, just film the fun stuff that my son and I were playing and having fun with, some ideas that I wanted to share that we were games in children's ministry and Sunday school. And I realized that I have kind of moved on from that. And because I'm not currently serving a church, I want to share my experience. Not to say that it's my way or the highway, that I know all the answers. Good grief, I do not have all the answers. I am still learning ministry right along with you. But I can share for those who are new in ministry, I can share the little bit that I know. If you're watching, let me know you're watching down below. Also, if my eyes are dilated, I just got back from the eye doctor. They dilated my eyes today. My pupils are really big. Um, okay, so if you have any questions about who I am and what I do, and if you're confused about me, please leave those in the comment section and I will get to those. I'm probably only going to be on for about 30 minutes today. But I wanted to say thank you for the 35,000 subscribers. This would not be possible without you. Joy, Todd, thank you for your constant support of me. Okay, so who else am I? On this channel, being a mentor to me means walking alongside you, sharing my experiences, being vulnerable with you, telling you things that are difficult about ministry that you may not hear when you first start out. I know when I first decided to go into ministry at the end of my undergraduate year and I decided to go to Duke Divinity School, I thought rainbows, butterflies, Jesus. Um, I thought ministry life was going to be like I had experienced growing up as a kid. And in some ways it is. In some ways it is. We all have a childlike faith. But in other ways, there's hard things that you aren't taught in seminary, you aren't taught at Duke Divinity School, the practical stuff. And you may be thinking, as I was thinking, is this normal? should I should I know this? Should I know how to do this? How do I interact with certain people? How do I interact with different personalities? That's one thing I missed not going in the corporate world. I think if you're in a corporate world situation, a lot of times they will give you training on how to get along with differing personalities. And in each church that I served, the pastors were really good about giving us some kind of personality test so that we could learn a little bit about each other. At one church, we did strength finders, one church, Enneagram, and I've also done Myers Briggs. And I think a personality test is good because then you can kind of see that people you work with, people in the church, they come from all walks of life. And that doesn't make it wrong. People have differing opinions and differing beliefs, even within your one church building. And that's okay. That is something to be celebrated. Because if we only are around people who believe the exact same that we believe, we don't grow in our faith, right? At least that's my opinion. Again, I am not the end all be all of ministry in the Christian life. I am imperfect and human just like everyone else. And I have had mentors in my ministry career. I had the amazing opportunity to work with a man from Ministry Architects. I served along with him. He was doing part-time youth ministry and part-time working for ministry architects. His name is Bryant. Um, and he kind of mentored me while we worked together. He had a lot of experience in churches. And then when I moved on to a different church and I needed some extra mentoring, I called him up, and my church graciously paid for sessions for for him to not just mentor me but to counsel the ministry area that I was over. I have had professors who were mentors, colleagues who were mentors, church members who mentored me. When I think back to my time at one church, there was a woman named Barbara. I love Barbara. She taught me how to get along with a variety of personalities and to stick up for myself. She would help out my children's ministry area. She put the worship bags together that we gave the kids during worship times. She'd come in my office always asking, "Hey, do you need help with this? What do you need me to do today?" Um, we would go out to lunch together, and she always brought a smile to my face. And some people just didn't like her. Some people were like, "She is harsh and she comes across aggressive and she'll tell you how it is, and we just don't like that about her." But I loved that about Barbara because I always knew where I stood with her. She wasn't scared when she disagreed with me. She would come into my office, knock on my door, and say, "Hey, I don't think you handled this one situation the way you should have." And I would say, "Okay, Miss Barbara, have a seat. Tell me all about it. Tell me what you think I should have done differently. Tell me the situation." And she would, and I would just listen. And sometimes we would disagree on how I handled it. And sometimes I would say, "No, you're right. I did not handle that correctly. Can you help me brainstorm some new ideas for how to handle that better?" And it was just good to have people in my life to run things by with, to if I wasn't sure how to handle a situation, somebody who I could call up or text or email and say, "Hey, how would you handle this?" It's always good to have mentors in ministry life because it can be so lonely and isolating. Ministry life is fun. It's filled with so many joys, but also so many questions and a lot of unanswered, mysterious questions. Children's ministry is about the children, but it's also about the volunteers. It's about the parents, the grandparents. Children's ministry is extends throughout the church and into the community. Um, anyways, if I can be that for you, let me know. Anybody have any questions for me? I did say I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, and I grew up Baptist. I went to Divinity School, Baptist, and all through Duke Divinity School, which is traditionally a United Methodist seminary. I did all my Baptist studies there, but I ultimately became United Methodist because they aligned more with my theology, more accepting, sat on the fence on some issues, which I liked because I had questions. I still have questions about Christianities. Um, yeah, I met my husband at Duke and in Greek class. He kept putting his annoying foot on the back of my chair while we were trying to learn ancient Greek, biblical Greek. And eventually we went out. We got married no, we got engaged 7 months after we met and married 11 months. I then decided to take a leap of faith and move with him to South Carolina and try and find myself a ministry job. So that's a little bit about me. We have 2 kids. I have a 15-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. Yes, she was planned. All right, if I don't have any questions, thank you all so much for coming on. If you're watching the replay, feel free to leave me questions. I'm really good about responding to questions and comments. on my newer videos. I am no longer doing Zoom content. I stopped that when here in the States we went back to in-person meeting. So I'm not using Zoom in my personal life anymore. I know a lot of you, so many of you discovered me through Zoom. And I'm so glad that I was able to help during the upheaval of 2020 and 2021, where we were all confused about how to communicate with each other and how to have fun with each other without seeing each other. I'm, I'm going to say a prayer for all of us. And then I'm out. Dear God, thank you for our time together. Thank you for this group of amazing viewers who take the time to watch me and listen to me and put up with my laughter. Thank you for those who have questions. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for allowing me to use my education and my spiritual gifts here online on YouTube. I never would have thought that was possible. God, you always surprise me. Please be with the situation in Israel between the Israelites and the Palestinians. Um, please continue to be with the recovery from the Maui wildfires. Please be with the situation, the war in Ukraine. Dear God, please be with everyone in their personal life. You know what everybody's requests and concerns and pains are. You have the answers that we seek. Help us to reach out to one another and hold each other close. Help us to get to know one another without judgment. Bless our day, dear God. In your name I pray. Amen. Don't know how to turn it off. Professional here. Nope, still on.